Hey guys. So I had a lot of questions on how I created this virtual classroom in Google Slides. And so I wanted to show you with the Screencastify some of the steps that I took to create this. So first off, I cannot take all of the credit, like at all. Gracie Rodriguez helped me so much. I saw on her Snapchat that she started creating something like this. And so then I looked at some of the tutorials she had and I looked up a few more and was able to kind of create this. So thank you, Gracie, for helping me out so much and letting me steal some of your ideas. So my first page that I made was just a welcome page, and I'm hoping to use this slideshow as kind of a beginning of the year slideshow to convey expectations and things they might need and stuff like that I would use in the usual classroom on the first day of school. So I wanted this to be also the size that I could use it as a banner in my Google Classroom. So if I go to my classroom, I put it as the banner for my upcoming school year. So that way it's just kind of a fun way to connect it. I'm also using the Bitmoji app. So if you have Snapchat, then chances are you probably have Bitmoji. So you'll log into your Snapchat on your phone and you will create your Bitmoji that you use for your Snapchat, and then you'll search in Google Bitmoji extension Chrome. And you'll click the first one that pops up and download the extension. And you'll find it under the puzzle piece and Bitmoji. Okay, so after you do that, then you get to go in and create your slides. I made a couple here, distance learning expectations, so that students know it's going to be a lot different than the spring and there's a lot more expected of us and of them for learning. I also created a slide for home learning space, which I think is super important that students kind of get an idea of what their home learning space should look like to minimize distractions and to be successful. So I was able to put in some little arrows and some text boxes to help them out with really essential things that they'll need. And then a distance learning supply list. It's just a really short list of things that I felt were really important for them to have at home to help them be successful in their distance learning. So let's get to creating a slide. So I added a blank slide so that I can show you kind of how to create this. Now, if you want it to be the same size so that it'll fit perfectly in your Google Classroom banner like I did here, then you're going to go to File, and then you're going to go to Page Setup. So it's going to be a custom size. So if it has on their standard or widescreen or whatever it's usually set at, you're going to go to Custom. Then you click Pixels. And you want to make sure that you click pixels before you type in any numbers, because I made that mistake before and it made this tiny little screen that I could not work with. So you click pixels first. Then you want to make sure that it's 1,000 pixels by 250 pixels, and that will fit your Google Classroom banner. If you don't care about it fitting your Google Classroom banner, then it doesn't really matter. And then you click apply and it will give you this shape. All right, so now the fun part, creating your backgrounds and everything. I chose for my first one a brick background. I wanted to keep my Harry Potter theme like I have in my regular classroom to kind of build that bridge between the virtual learning and the in-person learning. So I did that for my first couple ones. And then when I had some really specific things that had to have more writing on them, I switched it up a little bit. So for here, I'm going to choose a background for school. So I'll choose something a little bit different than I haven't had before. Now, if you already have a picture in mind that you want to use, you can click Control, click the background, and you're going to click Change Background. You'll upload the image from your computer, and then you can choose whichever image you already have on there. Now, if you don't have one already that you've got saved, then you just Google search. And I Google searched wall and floor background, classroom. If I can type properly, that would be great. Luckily, Google helps me out and spell checks everything for me. So then you go to your images, and then you've got all of these super cute choices. So I will just go and choose, I want something kind of blank so that I can customize it. Oh, that's perfect. So I'll choose this one. So then I can just click the image, and I want to get the clearest image possible. So wherever it takes you, as long as it's bigger than that, than this little clip here, then that'll be best. So now I'm going to screenshot it, which if you don't know how to screenshot, you press Command, Shift, and 4 all at the same time, and it'll give you this kind of arrow. Then you go and you're just going to outline whatever you want to keep for your background. So I don't need too much of the floor, but I want enough. And there it goes. So now I'm going to go back to my slides, Control, click, and change the background. I'm going to choose an image from my computer. And since I just did this, I just screenshot it, it's going to be under recent is the best way I think to find it. You click open, and it is going to add it there for you. And I love changing the background instead of just adding a picture, because then you can't, like, it won't move around the background and things. So this one will work for now. It's not my favorite, but it will work. If you get to this point and you're like, no, I don't really like that, I want something different, then you can totally go back and find something else that you would like better. And then you just do the same thing. You can screenshot it and then upload it. So let's see. Nope, that one is too small. It kind of takes a minute or two finding the right one that you like. And then you just go from there. So even from here, if I wanted to, I can just screenshot this one. So Command Shift 4. I highlight what I want screenshot. And there it is. So then I go back here, change my background again. Not right now, Harrison. And I'm going to choose my new one, which should be pretty close to where I found the other one in Recents, and see how this one looks instead. Still isn't my favorite, but you kind of play around. That's why I think the blank ones, like this one was completely blank first, are really easy, just because then you can customize it a little bit more and it doesn't look quite as awkward. So I'm going to go change my background to the one that I had before. Sorry, I know this part is taking a while. And honestly, I found that finding the right background was the hardest part of the whole thing, because just as you can see, some of them are too wide, some are too tall. And when it shifts to this, this sizing, then it kind of skews the picture. So I have found that by far finding the right background is like the hardest part, which seems kind of crazy. All right. So this one's nice and blank, so it should work pretty well. Perfect. There we go. All right. So a blank background, a blank canvas to work with. So the next thing you're going to want is your Bitmoji. So once you've created on Snapchat, you have the extension. You'll click the puzzle piece and Bitmoji. Harrison, I'm on video. Hold on. Go back. And then I just searched for pose, because you don't get the words in it, and it's just kind of you hanging out, doing all sorts of random crazy things. So you can choose whichever one you want and just kind of go with it. Harrison, no, go on. And then whenever you figure out which one you want, you just drag it on there. And then you can kind of move yourself from there. It gives you a clear background, so you don't have to worry about like the white blocks behind it or anything. All right, so now I want to add a whiteboard. So I'm going to go back to my Google search pictures, and I'm just going to Google search chalkboard. You can do chalkboard, blackboard, whiteboard, whichever one you want. And I'll just use this green one. So same thing, I'm going to screenshot it, but this time I'm going to need something a little bit different. So I need to open another tab and go to remove.bg/upload. This website is a hidden gem, and it's pretty cool. So I'm going to find my screenshot that I just took, and I'm going to just, if my computer will let me, just drag it on the screen, and that's it. And it's going to upload it, and it's going to remove all of the white background. So then I can control click, copy this image, and then paste it on here. And it removed the whole white background. I don't have to worry about like that awkward white space around it or anything like that. And then I can resize it to fit my classroom. So now if I want to add a teacher desk or a student desk, I will do the same thing. I'll search student desk. I'll find one that I want. And this one looks pretty good. I'm going to either screenshot it or you can save the picture. I found that screenshotting is the fastest way. Oops. Oh no, I hope it doesn't get that red circle in it. Oh, it did. Okay, let me try again.
Why isn't it posting?
There we go. And then I go to this tab and you can just drag that screenshot right on there. And you'll see it's going to remove all of that white background. So when I copy this image and I put it on here, it doesn't have that white background. So it looks like it's kind of fits there. It's supposed to be there.
You're building a classroom.
Mm-hmm. So I can put one of these desks right here. And then I can copy that one since I've got it the right size that I want and repaste it if I want to make another one. So I've got a couple desks. I've got my whiteboard, and let's add a teacher poster. So let's say I want teacher poster. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click a poster that I want. I'm going to screenshot it. I'm going to drag it to my remove background. And once you get the hang of it, it goes a lot faster. The first couple of times I did this, it was kind of a pain, but after some practice, you can see it got a lot quicker. So then you change the size of it to be whatever size you want, and you're there. So I've got a pretty basic setup. I've got my walls, I've got a chalkboard, a couple desks, you could add some more things here if you want, but I want to add some text on this chalkboard. So I'm going to go to insert text box, and I'll just draw however much I want to be written on my chalkboard. So go about there. And then you can change your font and everything and say, time for class. And then change your font however you want, like you usually would in slides. And that's pretty much it. Anything else that I want to add on here, like any other pictures, I can just go to this remove remove backgrounds website, and it just does it all for me. And it's so easy. I love it. Love it, love it. Classroom pictures. Oh, that's not quite what I wanted. Classroom poster. And then you can go and whichever ones you have. Hold on, Harrison. Do the same thing. Screenshot, drag it over. Only takes about a second, hopefully, if you have fast internet. Whoops. I've never had that before. That's really interesting. So for that one, maybe it's because it didn't have a clear background on it, or it didn't have one that it thought it could remove. Here we go. Let's try this one. Perfect. So same thing. Copy image, paste, and then put it here. Now you'll notice if I want to put a poster here, but I don't want it on the desk, I can control click and go to order. Now this is where I can change things. So if I want this to be in the back of the room, I don't want it in front of anything, I click send to back. And then wherever I move it, it's going to be behind any of my other pictures, which is kind of nice. So that way the posters look like they're on the wall. It just makes it look more three-dimensional. So that's pretty much all I think I needed to get started on this. Some things are easier than others. Also, if you have things going off the edge, when you present it or when you put it anywhere, it's not going to show. So don't worry about having to crop pictures and things like half my banner here wasn't going to fit because I wanted to look like it was zoomed in, and same with the bookshelf, but they don't show off the edge here. So if things go off the bottom, like here, this picture went up and it went on the bottom, you don't have to worry about it because it's not going to actually show in the final product. So that's pretty much it. I really hope this helped. Sorry, it took a while to explain everything. And if you have more questions, please email me and let me know.